Call the meeting in order, please. Celeste, call the roll.
Esserod,
Here.
Mead,
Here.
Rittenhouse,
Here.
Lipka,
Here.
Evans, who's not here, and Stacking.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, next item is the approval of the agenda.
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. And next item is approval of the minutes for the July 23rd, 2020 meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, in our public hearing item this evening, we have a zoning text amendment, a request for text amendment to section 11-7B2, permitted uses, to expand the list of permitted uses in the I-1 Light Industrial District to include automotive sales, outdoor storage prohibited. The applicant is Saddlewood Enterprises, Illinois, I believe that is, LLC. I can go through the procedures, but there's one person in here, so basically we'll hear from you, we'll ask questions, we'll ask if there's any public comment, and then move forward with that. If you rise, we'll give you the oath, so all those who, at this time I'll administer the oath to all those who have signed the registration form. Anyone wishing to give sworn testimony, ask questions, or cross-examine anyone given sworn testimony, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Please be seated. David, the record?
Okay, the contents of the file for this case include an application for a text amendment filed by Sandalwood Enterprises, Illinois, LLC, a project narrative prepared by the applicant dated July 17th, 2020, a staff report from the Community Development Department to the Planning and Zoning Commission dated August 27th, 2020, a certificate of publication from the Daily Herald for the legal notice that was published on August 7th for tonight's public hearing.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll hear from the applicant. Sir, just please state your name and address.
Okay. James Smith, 1N946 Saddlewood Drive, Maple Park, Illinois, 60151.
All right, thank you.
I'm the owner of Saddlewood Enterprises, LLC. I've been involved in the automobile industry for 24 years. I currently I currently manage fleets for larger companies like Mead Electric and Intren and things like that. But I've also kind of held every position in the automobile industry from when I started out at 16 years old to where I am now in the finance department and sales manager and whatever. I plan to open an independent dealership. The subject property is owned by Westbridge Investment LLC and is located in the L1 zoning district, immediately adjacent to the north of the railroad tracks. The city public works facility is the neighbor to the east, and Lakeland Pallet and West Suburban Concrete are located to the west. Our company will be leasing approximately 4,000 to 5,000 square feet of the southernmost portion of the building, with an option for additional space to grow. The remainder of the building is used by Stokes Graphics, Tech Pro, and Devil Dog Arms. I will be offering motor vehicles through the internet, and all vehicles will be stored inside. We anticipate selling no more than 300 vehicles per year, with an average value of, which is probably a little low, of $20,000 per vehicle. Sales will be subject to Illinois sales tax based upon projected sales, rezoning the subject property to permit motor vehicles as permitted use is a condition predicated on obtaining the dealer's license through the state of Illinois.
Okay. can you explain a little bit about how the business works? Because this is kind of an unusual thing. So like you're not a used car dealership per se, but you do it online. And do you have the cars on premises and just
Well-
when you sell them, then you bring in new cars? I mean, you kind of have to explain what the process is.
Yeah, the intention is not to have a whole lot of vehicles, you know, maybe 5 vehicles at a time, sell one, replace one. You know, there, sorry. Yeah.
I just want to understand how the business works. I mean, the fact that it's like you're having an office there, you're doing things online, so it's all based on photography and posting and stuff. So are there cars on premise?
There will, you know, I anticipate probably having 5 to 10 vehicles in the building. I don't think I need to exceed anything. You know, it's more of a, I don't want to say type. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. I've never done this before.
Oh, there's no point, there's no reason to be nervous. I'm just trying to understand just how the business works.
No,
and-
it's not going to be a normal car dealership where people come in, look
Yeah.
at your inventory, and, you know, get a sale. Everything will be, the showroom is online.
Right.
And that's just the way everything is seeming to go. And even what I do now, most of the sales that I do now at the store aren't, the business isn't even conducted at the store. Everything's off-site, and I kind of intend to do that with this place too. As far as deliveries, there'll be nobody, and really it's going to be me. You know, I won't even have a dealer plate driving a company vehicle. You know, I have my personal vehicle, and this is like I say, this is just internet sales.
So what would be the purpose of having the cars on site? Is it so that they can
Well,
come and see them, drive them? What's the purpose of having cars on the site?
I have to have a place to store them, and I have to, anything that's going to be, that I own, that is in the police book, that the Secretary of State will need to, you know, I have to have a facility where all my records and vehicles
Yeah.
are kept. Really, that's the only, you know, that's the need for that facility.
Okay, so they come there to pick up the car?
I hope not even that. Especially now, I think delivery and showing a vehicle, whether you met someplace or somebody's home, you know, and inspected it there. And like I say, I won't have a large amount of vehicles, and there won't be a ton of, you know, I would hope that I would be able to flip maybe 5 vehicles a week. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but kind of, you know, what you sell, then you replace.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
I just went through this whole thing, so I kind of find it fascinating, but do you do this on consignment, or is it,
There will, yes, I intend to do that.
Yeah.
You know, broker / consignment, somebody's looking for something, you know, I can go and find it for them. I've got a lot of other connects in the industry that have done this for a long time.
yeah, for sure.
You know, I don't want to get ahead of myself on, you know, my, you know, what I think this could turn into, but this is the way the future is going. If you look at Carvana, you look at all these other places, the dealership just, it's going to cease to exist, and
Yeah.
that's part of the reason why I kind of taken this step during this time with everything that's going on. It just, I'm realizing it more and more.
Cool.
Any other questions? Yeah, Brad.
I have a friend, and don't take this as like grilling or anything like that, but I have a friend who does, I think, something very similar, except he just works out of his house. He just keeps, I don't think he keeps even 5. I think he just really kind of keeps 2 or 3 at a time, so they just fit in his garage and his driveway. So that's kind of following up on Scott's. What's the point of paying for the space, like given, or am I describing probably something different than what you're
Well,
doing?
in order, a person, like you or I, in the status that I'm in right now, a non-dealer, you know, you can sell 6 vehicles a year. You know, anything more than that, again, you have to deal with the Secretary of State Police and police books, and in order to actually make this into something a little bit larger, you know, I have to start someplace, and working out of my home is not an acceptable office for the Secretary of State or the state of Illinois.
Oh, it isn't?
No, you can't. So you've got to have a place of business, you have to be open, you have to have posted hours, at least be open 4 hours a day. And obviously, so when the Secretary of Police, State Police does come in, you know, and want to make sure that, here, this is your inventory, everything is in the police book. If something's not there, well, you know, it's over at a body shop, or it's getting mechanic work done at some of the other facilities that are in this area that I use. I mean, I don't want to be doing mechanical repair or any of that stuff in there. Everything's basically kind of farmed out with relationships that I've built throughout the years. So,
And then, thank you. And then, I'm sure we'll discuss this a little bit after we talk to you, but you've arranged that all of the storage of the cars will be indoors in that
and
that
there's
large
potential
building
for
there?
far greater space. The portion of the building that's used right now is basically front office space and a little bit of storage. You know, that whole back area of the building, which I could potentially have access to all of it, I think is in the area of 15,000 square feet.
Okay,
So,
gotcha. So you just pull them in, leave them there, send them off to the mechanic if it needs that, bring it back.
yeah. And basically, it'll be an indoor parking garage for, you know, until, you know, there's a prospective buyer, and however that works. If somebody does want to come down to this facility, they absolutely can. But paperwork can be done, you know, online or be, you know, it doesn't have to be done at a dealership, and most people prefer not to.
Do you mostly sell to consumers or to other dealers or online auctions, things like that?
I don't really want to wholesale things. I guess if I had to, you know, go to Manheim auction and get rid of something that I'd made a mistake on. But I think, you know, I lost my train of thought.
I was asking if it was direct to consumers or.
Oh, yeah. The segment
the
that,
idea.
what I dabble in right now is mainly fleet and commercial, and I would like to keep that. I do have, like I say, a pretty extensive contact list of guys that I deal with from Mead Electric and Intren and Quanta Services and things like that, their fleets, you know, they like to turn the stuff in 5 years. So there's a lot of potential there with the guys that I know, that there's a conflict of interest if I do something, you know, high mile vehicles, 100,000 mile vehicles at a dealership that people are not really familiar with and afraid to put certain money into equipment because they don't know what it's worth. Mm-hmm. These guys, when they come off of lease, whether it's through Element or Lease Plan or whatever, they're responsible for either buying it or turning it back in and being subject to fees and damages, and commercial vehicles are always subject to an extensive amount of fees and damages. So then these guys could rely on me, you know, whether I buy it, consigned it, that, you know, I would have these, I'd have them prepped at that facility, have the repairs done wherever they need to be done, and then that's where they would sit until it was either time to show or deliver them.
So no body work,
No.
no mechanical work, nothing like that will happen here. Gotcha, thank you.
Indoor storage and showroom potentially.
Basically, yeah.
So will this potentially be a situation where I go online to look for a car and I get these options, different dealers or private parties and Saddlewood might pop up. You're looking for a 2016 whatever, you might have that. Would that be you know, it might be an internet hit for me that
Yeah.
would be one of the options, and
Yeah.
I'd see the pictures and the interior and exterior and
Yeah, I'm not going to limit myself, you know, I kind of know what I'm comfortable with, but there's, you know, if there's, I'm just not going to limit myself. Yes, you'll see my inventory on Facebook, you'll see it on Twitter, you'll see it on Instagram, you will maybe a little bit of commercial truck trader or truck paper, but truck paper is like an auction website where you know, you'll list it, and after 2 weeks time or whatever it posts, then, what it fetches is, and those will still be subject to sales tax here and sold here, but a lot of them, like I do now, I ship vehicles all over the country, and paperwork's just overnighted and notarized.
Right. Interesting.
So there's a couple other people that I've dealt with also that are automobile inspectors that, there's a lot of people that, I run into it all the time. There was a guy in Virginia that wanted to buy a truck that I had, and obviously taking a dealer's word for it is that, not maybe always the best. So there's third party guy that comes in, inspects everything, checks it out, and with their approval and a contract, then, I can arrange shipping and have it shipped wherever you want.
Cool.
Michael, you have anything?
No, nothing else.
Anybody else? All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
So it's an amendment to the ordinance, so this would be another permitted use, so.
Right, right,
I guess that's the general discussion at hand now, so.
right.
Whether how do we see that?
I think it sounds like a reasonable use for I-1. Industrial.
Especially in light of the other permitted uses in this district,
Yeah.
it seems certainly reasonable.
Yep.
So David, we can definitely do just indoor. This doesn't in any way allow any outdoor vehicle storage or dealer, more traditional dealerships in any of the other I-1 locations?
The way it's proposed is that it would be outdoor storage is prohibited. So it would only be indoors to kind of prevent that from happening, where you have a traditional car dealership in the I-1 district. But this is a use that we looked at from a staff perspective. With the downtown zoning update, we have a little more flexibility and interpretation to say it's a similar type use and make that administrative decision. We don't have that same ability outside of the downtown area. If we did, I would probably have interpreted this as a similar and like use and allowed it to go in.
Right.
And that's something we're looking at bringing forward for consideration in the future for the rest of the zoning districts. But yes, I mean, indoor storage of vehicles, we allow automobile repair in the I-1 district with outdoor storage prohibited. We allow compatible commercial uses, so I would think this falls right in line with that.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Okay,
Should we close the public hearing?
yeah, that's the,
Move to close the public hearing?
Second?
moving second. Celeste?
Kasserag,
Aye.
Mead,
Aye.
Rittenhouse.
Aye.
Slivka.
Aye.
Stocking.
Aye.
That passes.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for a zoning ordinance text amendment to section 11-7B-2 to expand the list of permitted uses in the I-1 light industrial district to include, quote, automobile sales, end quote, parentheses, outdoor storage prohibited, end parentheses.
Second?
Moving seconded. Celeste?
Okay. Kasserag,
Aye.
Mead,
Aye.
Rittenhouse.
Aye.
Slivka.
Aye.
Stocking.
Aye. Okay.
So that'll move forward to the city council at the latest, that September 21st date. Otherwise, it would be Tuesday, the 8th, right after Labor Day. Well,
What else do you expect out of me? Again, I'm kind of naive to this whole process, so.
there's no presentation required at the city council meeting. We'll put it on the agenda. If you can attend the meeting, that would probably be good to answer any questions that pop up, but they will review this entire record and in this recommendation. And then if they have questions, it'd be good to be available for those.
Okay, will I be notified if it does get moved up instead of the 20th?
Yeah, I'll be in touch. It'd be middle of next week to let you know, confirm the date.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm here to answer any questions anybody might have.
All right.
All right.
Great,
luck.
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Good
your
luck.
time. Thank you.
Good luck.
And girl.
All right, so anything else going on there? It's been a while, for me at least.
Yeah, it has been. The 609 South 3rd Street project was approved by the city council.
Good.
Including the text amendment. Yeah, you're good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Including the text amendment to reduce the parking ratios in the downtown area, as recommended by the commission with that that smaller geographic area. We do have a meeting coming up on September 10th. We'll have 2 cases. We have a rezoning at 15 Woodlawn, and then a 2-lot subdivision at the southern end of South 8th Street, called the Traxler subdivision.
Is that across from the golf course?
I mean, 8th Street is kind of across from the golf course.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, right before you get to the tracks,
Okay.
there's a lot there they want to divide into 2. We have an opening on the commission, so the mayor's accepting applications to fill that position. We also still have an opening at the staff level for the city planner position.
I was gonna ask you about that.
So we had a few candidates back in March, and then everything stopped. And some actually dropped out because of COVID. Their spouse was no longer relocating to the area, so we recast. We went through first round of interviews last week, and we'll be doing the second round next week. And we have 3 pretty strong candidates, I believe. So I think it's going to be a tough decision, but we're definitely anxious to get them on board because the work is not slowing down. And it's starting to catch up with me for sure. So it'd be good to have some help. That's really all I had for updates at the moment.
Okay, good.
Anything on mill race?
Yes, so,
Oh, wow.
yeah, we did finally get the formal response from IDOT. So that is going to allow the team to kind of refine the plans based on that input. They anticipate being able to get that to us in the near future, like the next week or so. And then we need to identify a meeting date to bring it forward to city council to consider the TIF request, the financial request.
That's all before a public hearing for that?
Right, so if they can work out what the city's willing to contribute, then it would move forward through the Planning and Zoning Commission
Is
process.
it part of the Third Street TIF now, or is it in addition to it, or a modification?
It's part of TIF 3.
It's part of an existing TIF.
Right.
But they're asking for a modification.
They would be asking for a financial request.
Okay, okay.
So did IDOT approve that exit plan onto State Street? Wasn't that the issue?
It was, I guess the point of contention was an access onto 25.
Oh, okay.
We were proposing full access. They're requesting that it be 3/4 access.
What does that mean?
So no
So
left, no
right
left
in,
turn
right
coming
out, left in, but no left out.
Gotcha. Left out, gotcha.
So you couldn't turn left out of the midpoint access and go north on 25. But there would be the full access at the southern end
Okay.
of the site. Right.
So if you're leaving, you can either go east, right? Or you can go south on 25?
If you're leaving, you could only go south on 25.
Oh, I thought there was
From
an
that-
exit.
From that mid-block access.
Okay.
Is there an ingress egress point onto State Street, or I can't remember?
There's a right in, right out on State,
Okay, right in, right out.
That's what I was saying,
3/4
yeah.
access on 25, and then a full access further south across from Oak Street.
Right.
Right. So, yeah, that'll be coming up probably, I would say late fall, early winter to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
It's almost fall.
I can't believe that, I know.
Yep.
And then if you track the development projects page, we have a couple other applications that were submitted. The Emma's Landing subdivision was submitted. And then we have a Verizon wireless tower that was proposed on Randall Road.
Yeah.
That's a special use request, so that'll come forward.
80 feet tall, I saw, right?
Right. So,
How tall are those ones that are off of sort of the railroad in Fargo now?
I don't know.
Just as reference, I was just
Yeah.
curious.
The Emma's Landing looks like they've incorporated an access drive right along the edge of the to-be-acquired property and to-be-annexed property, right? So that they don't cross the land
Right.
that's owned by the subdivision at this time, right?
Right.
So there'd still be some usable land to the southeast of that. This part of the parcel would be acquired, that's just,
Yeah, they're not proposing to rezone it upon annexation, so it would stay rural residential, which is our kind of most restrictive single-family zoning.
okay,
So they're not proposing to develop it now
right.
or seek entitlements for that now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, very good. Need somebody to, since Bim's not here.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
All right.